Hey, it's Deborah, and it is time for another video. Today, I want to talk about the sense of smell. We are extremely sensitive beings. We experience our entire world through our nervous system, and we have 5 primary senses, and we also have some special senses. So for today's video, I want to talk about one of the primary senses, which is the sense of smell. The sense of smell is a super cool and super important sense because it is the first cranial nerve, and the olfactory bulb, the nerve fibers that interpret what the smell is that we're smelling, they go right into the limbic system. They go right into the middle of the brain. So when you understand that you could use your sense of smell to calm yourself down, that's another power tool for you. The way that that your smell works is also super cool. So you have a smell, and there's stuff wafting past your nose all the time, and there are these projections in your nose that pick up the smell. And if there's a whole bunch of the smell, if it's a really strong smell, so there's a whole bunch of molecules, it picks it up and it recognizes, do I know this smell or not? And it immediately categorizes, is this a smell I like or a smell I don't like? And sometimes the smells that we learn that we like or we don't like are associated with strong emotion. Let's say the smell of chocolate chip cookies, right? That makes you happy. You associate that with love. Or the smell of vanilla, you associate that with love. And there are some other smells that you want to run the other way from. And the sense of smell is so closely tied to your nervous system. It's actually, it goes right in there into the center of the brain, the old mammalian part of the brain. You can use that to calm yourself down. So there are some scents like lavender essential oil, for example, is extremely calming. I can't think off the top of my head of what other essential oils are calming. Wild orange can be calming. Lemon can be calming. Peppermint can be calming. And vetiver can be calming. Chamomile can be calming. So using essential oils is a great way to calm your nervous system down. Another thing about the sense of smell that I think is interesting is that we use metaphors in our language to talk about stuff that turns us off, right? So the smell can both calm you down nervous system wise. It can also make you super anxious, right? When we don't like a situation, we say that stinks. Or when we don't trust something, we say, I smell a rat, right? So it's just interesting to think about how the sense of smell, we don't pay very much attention to it because we're so visual in our culture. But we do get so much input from smell. One of the other things that comes in from smell is pheromones, right? The way that we naturally smell. And we know that we're attracted to certain people because they smell good to us, and we're repelled by other people because they don't smell good to us. In fact, there was a very, very well documented study that has a super famous photo in National Geographic of a bunch of lab techs in white coats, and they're all like this, smelling armpits, and they put on white undershirts on their subjects, and then they had their people sweat, and then they smelled the sweat, and then they gave the sweat to people to say, does this smell good or does this smell bad? And you would think all sweat smells bad, but it actually doesn't. That you probably like the smell of your partner's sweat, and you can probably stand the smell of your own sweat, but when you get near somebody else's sweat, you're like, ugh, right? That is disgusting. So it's just really interesting how we get programmed and conditioned to think certain things smell good and certain things don't smell good. Think about the perfume industry, right? There are hundreds of kinds of perfumes. And if you ever travel and go to a duty-free shop on a layover on an international flight, and you smell all the perfumes, some of them are going to smell great to you, and some of them you're going to be like, oh, that is disgusting. Who would ever wear that? But to somebody, that smells great, and they wear it. And I think that's interesting too, because it just reminds us that we all have different sensibilities, and that diversity is a beautiful thing. So that's what I want to share with you, is the sense of smell, how powerful it is. And I'm curious what smells good for you and what smells bad for you. And how do you orient yourself through the sense of smell? I know for me that there are certain things that when I smell them, I get super stoked, like the smell of chlorine, right? So for a lot of people, that's like, ooh, disgusting. But I love to swim. So anytime I get near a swimming pool and I smell chlorine, it gets me super excited because I can't wait to jump in the water. I also like the smell of potting soil. I just planted my tomatoes this morning, and I love the smell of rain on earth. In fact, there's a really beautiful word with that, and that's how I'll close this video. So this is one of my favorite words. The word is petrichor, and that comes from petrus, stone, and ichor, which is like the ambrosial scent that the goddess leaves behind when she walks. So petrichor is the sweet smell of earth after the rain. It's like that beautiful wafting fragrance that the earth exudes when she's wet. Isn't that sexy? Have an awesome day, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next video.